Folks, welcome back. I just wanted to have a discussion today kind of about the consumer demand for products based on where they're at on the product life cycle. And because of the TikTok, Instagramification of society now, everybody's attention spans are so short and we need something new, that new dopamine hit every single day, every single week. And because of that, it's changed up a lot of things on how, the market is reacting to it and certain products are reacting to it. And things are being sped up on the time frames. And also we're going to talk about how that kind of plays into your investing strategy and how that will actually make you better at investing in this stuff, understanding how all this stuff works these days. And so before we jump into all that good stuff, I want to shout out today's video sponsor. It is Arizona TCG. Guys, they are your source for consignment on all of your graded cards. It's real simple. You pack up all your graded cards, you send them to Arizona TCG. They do all the work of selling for you, send you a big check at the end. They do run everything through their 100% positive feedback eBay store with tons of seller feedback and tons of followers, meaning you'll get the top price for your cards. They only charge a 13.5% fee, meaning it's about the same, if not better than what it takes to sell everything yourself on eBay after fees and shipping and all that good stuff. So make sure to check out Arizona TCG. The link will be in the description and a comment section below. All right, so being a streamer, right, I have a different perspective on things because I get to see kind of where the consumer demand kind of shifts in real time. And I can kind of see what price points people are willing to pay for certain sets at different points of their life cycle. And so right now, Destined Rivals has now been out for a little while. The whole, pre-release, release week buzz is kind of over. Everyone kind of exhausted themselves opening endless amounts of Destined Rivals. We went through 25, 30 cases like that. It seemed like overnight. And now it's finally kind of getting more normalized and it's just another set that is out. And so, before, right, people didn't kind of go through sets as fast as they do now. And so, now that we're in this TikTok world, this Instagram world where everyone needs this immediate dopamine rush and everything is old, literally the day after it's released, everyone constantly needs new stuff. And that, I believe, is why it is giving rise to, all these different products and TCGs doing well, all these different languages of Pokemon doing well, because people just want something fresh to open. They don't even care what it is. And, you hear a lot of this rhetoric online right now, right? About everything being too expensive, right? I don't want to pay more than, $4 or $5 for a booster pack. Anything more than that's too expensive. Well, these black and white Japanese deluxe boxes were released when black and white was released, right? Black Bolt, White Flare, deluxe boxes. These have 4 packs inside, okay? And depending on where you buy the packs from, you're probably going to pay somewhere between $30 to $35 for a booster pack of 35 cards, okay? These are selling very well on stream, meaning it's not that people are not able or wanting to spend money. And by the way, take my stream out of it. Just go on eBay. Go on eBay, search, White Flare Deluxe Pack, Black Bolt Deluxe Pack, Deluxe Box. Go look at what they're selling for. Go look at how many are selling. Go to TCG Player, do the same thing. These things are selling, people. And it's not the price point that's keeping people away. It's because it's something new. It's something fresh. People just want to open something, which brings me to my next point. Chinese Gem 2 packs. Now, these are a little bit cheaper, but not much cheaper, all right? These boxes are going anywhere from $40 to $50 online. Some may be cheaper. And you get 15 packs. So, you double it, you get 30 packs, cost you about $80 to $100. If you add it up to a full 36-pack booster box, it's a little more than half what an English box goes for. But you only get 4 cards per pack, right? And, it's just another option. And so it just gives someone another thing to open that's unique because people want something fresh, something new, right? Final Fantasy. Pretty much everywhere you go online, people are complaining about price points of Pokemon. These packs go for about $75 to $80 on the open market. Go check recent sales. People are paying that. All right. These boxes are over $800. In the first week we've had these available on stream, we've already went through 3 full collector boxes. And at one point I did sell out and had to go get more because I didn't know it was going to be that big of a demand. $80 a pack, guys. It is not the price points that are keeping people away from certain products. It is the point on the life cycle those products are on, right? If, let's say something like Crown Zenith has slowed down in sales, people will make this idea that, well, it's because it's finally too expensive for people. It's like, no, it reached a point where it went out of print, right? The out of print always ends up, exploding the popularity because everyone's like, oh, it's out of print, it's out of rotation, things are going to run, and things did run. The singles ran, the sealed product ran. And once it reached kind of a point of capitulation, people kind of, wore themselves out on Crown Zenith. The price of things kind of came down. Now the sealed didn't, because sealed, again, usually doesn't really fall much, but the singles came down, and now the products and the sales are starting to slow down. And people are like, well, yeah, it's because they finally got too expensive. No, it just reached its part of the life cycle. There will come a time, just like that has come for, Sun and Moon and XY, where, there will come another run, another, trend, whatever. After Scarlet Violet's over, people want to go back and collect the older eras. And there will be a time when Crown Zenith goes on another run, and it starts to get talked about again. The singles start rising again, and everyone will open the packs again. And I think people kind of get this illusion that just because sales volume slows down on TCG Player eBay, or just because singles are falling, or, packs are going stagnant, or boxes are going stagnant, then that must mean that, something's overpriced, or something is, the demand is not there anymore. No one's going to like that setting, all these weird things. But all it is people just need that newness. Now, hear me out. Newness doesn't always have to be a new product, right? People can come back to things and it becomes new again, right? Like if nobody opens 151 for 2-3 years and you come back, it's like, it's that new feeling again. It's that sense of nostalgia. It's like, oh, I haven't seen this forever. And that can happen, right? That's what's happening right now with a lot of, so Sword and Shield packs right now. People are going back and opening Sword and Shield 3 years after they opened them, or going back and open Sun and Moon and XY or Vintage now. Because even though it's not new, it's a new dopamine rush, because it's not something you do every day. It's not something you've done in a while. And that's just what we're going through in the Pokemon hobby. Is the world as it is now is spilling over to TCGs, and people just want something new. And again, they don't care that it's an $80 pack, right? They don't care that it's a $30, $35 deluxe pack of Japanese. It's something new. It gives a different chase. It gives something different to open, right? Chinese, hey, cheaper option, right? A less price point than English. People just want something to open. It's something fresh. It's something new. And again, I don't know how any of this stuff's going to do investment-wise. Now, I'm pretty sure Final Fantasy collector boxes are going to do very well because they don't reprint them and they got the serialized chocobos and all those good things. So I like that as investment. The Japanese stuff, the Chinese stuff, I don't know. It might do okay. Deluxe boxes, it's kind of a new thing. Chinese, it's up and coming. I have no idea. I'm not here to try and push any of that stuff as an investment, right? I'm just here to try to explain what is happening with the demand on the market, and try not to be so wishy-washy with your investments, right? A lot of people want to say they're investing, but as soon as like the attention goes somewhere else and the things they're holding go stagnant for months or a year on end, they think like, oh, it's the dead investment, got to jump out. And then they usually miss the big moves. It's kind of like if you would have jumped out on Evolving Skies when it sat at like $350 to $400 a box for months and months and months. And then all of a sudden it jumped to 800. It's just like, well, yeah, but I held that for 6 months and did nothing. It's like, well, if you held for 2 years, you doubled your money. And this is the issue I see so much with investing, is everyone's looking for this short-term movement, this short-term price growth. And, you hear all these YouTubers talk about things. Look, that's a terrible investment. You shouldn't have been holding that, right? You should have been holding this. And it's like the grass is always greener, right? And the problem is when you go kind of jump around from thing to thing, the grass is greener here, the grass is greener there, you end up, just incurring so many transaction costs, so many shipping costs, so much extra risk, when in fact, the right thing to usually do with your investments is to just hold them and let them grow. And you're going to go through times of intense growth. You're going to go through times of everything kind of retracing and finding the equilibrium. You're going to go through times of stagnation. You're going to go through more times of intense growth. Right now, Fusion Strike, perfect example, ran up to like $850, $900. It's now retraced back into the mid to low 700s. It's finding its kind of capitulation point where it's finding a new bottom. It'll probably sit there. It'll probably go stagnant for a period of time, and then it'll grow again. But if you don't hold for all those times, well, you probably would have already sold out of Fusion Strike. And that's what happens way too often in this hobby, is people sell out of their investments so soon, even when they are so sure they're in the right item and they know it's going to move. 1, 2 years comes along, they start believing all this stuff online. Oh, everyone's investing in this stuff. Everything's overprinted. Everything's going to get reprinted. The CT scan stuff's going to ruin the whole sealed hobby. Like, they just start believing all this stuff and they end up dumping, and then they end up missing out on hundreds and hundreds of percent gains because they give into all the BS. And I understand. I get it. It's very easy to give into it. But listen, when XY ended, all right, the print runs have really started to ramp up. Okay, now saying this now, you're like, Alex, that's crazy. Those weren't printed anywhere near as much as they are now. Hear me out. XY Evolutions was printed just as much as most Sword and Shield Scarlet Violet sets. I'm telling you right now, it got some of the most reprints we've ever seen on a modern set was XY Evolutions. All right, go look at the population of the cards. The population reports mimic that of like Sword and Shield and Scarlet Violet sets. That should tell you everything right there. That's how many cards are printed out there. That's how much Evolutions product existed. And so when we went from XY Evolutions into Sun and Moon Base and then Guardians Rising, Burning Shadows, people were already saying this back then. Oh, the cat's out of the bag. Can't invest in Pokemon anymore. Everyone knows about it. They're going to reprint all the stuff in the ground. There's too much of it to ever really go up. It's going to take years to go up and never make any money. Get to Sword and Shield era. All the stuff started to rise, right? Logan Paul, pandemic, all that happened. Then everyone said, okay, now the cat's really out of the bag. Now you truly can't invest in modern sealed product. That's around the time I made my channel because I just wanted to combat all of that ridiculous advice. And so everyone was down on Sword and Shield investing. Everyone said it's not going to be like Sun and Moon and XY. They're printing too much now. Everybody's investing in this stuff. And here we are in the end of Scarlet Violet era. Sword and Shield has all made exponential moves. And now we're hearing the same stuff. Well, it's different now. Everyone's investing. Everyone's going to be holding this stuff. They're overprinting it. It's never going to do anything, blah, blah, blah. Here's the thing, guys. 99% of the people you hear online, they don't even do what they say they're doing. All the stupid people in the Discords, in the comment sections, making videos, most of them either don't do what they say they're doing or do it on a much smaller level than they act like they're doing, right? They don't actually have what they say they have. Also, even the people that are doing what they say they're doing, most of them are already sold out of most of their positions in the first 3 to 5 years. And then what happens is when the sets reach their 5, 6, 7 year old, like Sun and Moon and XY are, no one freaking owns the product. All the investors out there who say they're going to hold forever and they have all this stuff, they get shaken out. Maybe you got shaken out when Fusion Strike went to 200. Maybe you got shook out when it went to 400. Maybe you got shook out when it hit 800. One way or another, most people have already sold a lot of Sword and Shield product. And in the next year or two, you'll probably see most people that invested in Sword and Shield sell out. And then in another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, no one will own the stuff. It'll all be in the hands of the true long-term high dollar investors. And those people will not sell unless they get absolute tip top dollar for it. And that's kind of how the world works, guys. The money flows to all the wealthy people who can afford to hold, who have a long-term mindset. All the people who want the quick tendies, the quick gains, they've already flipped out of it. And they're the ones complaining later on that things are too expensive. The odds are stacked against them. When in fact, they held the product, but they let it go because they want to take advantage of a quick flip. I made $100. I doubled my money. I made $200, whatever it may be. And it's just like they lose sight of where things can go because they're so worried about the shiny new toy, right? Shiny new toy. Shiny new toy, right? Shiny new toy. Destined Rivals was just a shiny new toy. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying the shiny new toy can't be investable. I'm just saying don't lose sight of everything else because all the attention is on the shiny new toy right now. Because there will become a time when the attention does flow back to some of these other areas. And when that happens, you're going to wish that you were still holding it. That's all I got to say, guys. Hope the video helped. I'm out.